Making gifts for Christmas. And this is the one I'm going to start with. All right, so we're going to try to do this in a one-pot wonder kind of formulation. Last thing going in, of course, is citric acid. Today, I'm going to try using some omega-3s because omega-3s are oil-based. These are not salmon. These are plant omega-3s, and they smell wonderful. They smell like fruit. They are awesome. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. So those are going to give us a little bit of moisturizing qualities in the bath, which is nice. I'm also going to be using a little bit of coconut oil, and because we're using these oils, we're going to need polysorbate 80. You can leave them out if you want. It doesn't matter. It just means you'll have a little more mess to clean up in the bath. So first I'm going to measure out the bicarb, and the bicarb amount is one of the biggest amounts. So you basically want 2 parts bicarb to 1 part citric acid, and everything else is just more. So never add, if you're in a humid area anyway, I know this to be true, never ever ever add Epsom salts or magnesium salts or Dead Sea salts or any kind of salts. I know that sodium bicarb is a salt technically, but it's not a salt that's going to get draw the moisture into your bath bomb like those others will. If you've ever had a weepy soap, a salt bar, for example, sometimes Dead Sea salts will do that. It's terrible in soap. All right, so we've got our bicarb. I'm just going to write things down every time because every time I do things a little differently, and you know what? I'm okay with that because that means I'm formulating, and when I find the perfect one that works every time, well, we will just use it again and again. So we've got 910 bicarb here. So we're going to need not 500 citric. Yeah, we'll just bump this up using a little, we'll do 500 citric with this one, because I'm going to add some SLSA and some cornstarch to this formulation. Oops. Because I like the feel of cornstarch. Not everybody does, but I do. So I'm putting it in. And I do love a few bubbles, so that's why I'm using the SLSA. You can use turkey red castor oil, but my skin doesn't do well with that, so I don't generally use turkey red castor oil. So we're just going to add a little bit. It's about 30 grams of SLSA. Just a little bit, not a lot. I mean, you can add a lot. I once, when I got my press, they sent me this recipe of theirs that had like 8 ounces or more. So that's why I use it in my, that's why I use the larger quantities of SLSA sometimes, because I want to make a smaller product have big, big, big bubbles in the bath. That's the only time I'll use that high of a concentration, so know that. That if the recipe has like a lot of SLSA in it, it's because I'm planning on making really small bath bombs, all right? If you are planning on making really big bath bombs, reformulate it so that it has less SLSA and, you know, just make up for it in other ways if you want to keep the percentages within, well, you'll have to change the percentages. You'll just have to cut it in half and replace that with bicarb if you want. You know, just play with it. I'm okay with playing with stuff. Now the remaining amount, I'm going to add cornstarch. And I'm not going to add a lot of cornstarch. Some people add like a cup of cornstarch per. You add too much cornstarch, you're going to end up with a bath bomb. It's just gonna fall apart. It'll be in your, you'll have shrink wrapped it hopefully, because I shrink wrap my bath bombs. That's something I don't cut back on packaging wise, because I find that if I'm having issues with humidity, it protects my bath bombs. And that's the only reason I would shrink wrap them, because I mean, especially if you're using a surfactant in your formulation, it's not like people touching it's going to make any difference, because the soap's going to kill COVID and a lot of other things too that are viral related. All right, so before I get crazy here mixing, just going to set this where I can find it. Finish my little bit of math. So $944, 1,000. So I ended up putting 56 grams of cornstarch in that. I like other starches too. In fact, I usually use like glutinous rice flour for a lot of things, and that's a very high starchy product. It's not actually a starch, it's a rice flour. But you can use tapioca starch, which comes from cassava. You can use potato starch. It might make a brittle bomb though. I found that things that I formulated with potato starch tend to be kind of brittle, but I've only used it a little bit and only used it to make a really wonderful bubble dough. I mean, it feels amazing in the bath, like amazing balls in the bath. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. So we've got a little mixing here. It doesn't seem to be flying up in the air. So we're going to go ahead and add the next ingredients. Now I'm going to use a different scale because these are smaller additives, smaller quantity additives. I'm going to just pull that scale out. There we go. I'll get some of my itty bitty cups here, which I love these little cups. Don't you love these little cups? These are awesome little cups. Just set this aside for now. We're getting a shadow. Okay. Okay, so let's turn that on. Now I am going to use about an ounce in total, so about 30 grams, which should be just about right for this cup, I think. Using 5.3 of the coconut oil. Now I don't want a lot in here because the more of the oils I use, the more of the polysorbate I'll need to use. So I'm just going to make that an ounce. That's really light. I don't know if we'll be able to get a whole ounce. So close. Okay, we got 1 ounce. Now can I move this back into there? All right, that smells really good. That's yummy. I don't know if you've found NutriVeggie in your area, but this is amazing stuff. And it's going to feel great in my bath. So I'm going to need the same amount. in polysorbate 80. Like I said, you can try turkey red castor oil. That's something that Atomic Bath and Body swears by. I tried it. My skin could not handle it. It made me itchy. Itchy all over. So I'll be using that one in soap probably, because that'll change it so that I can use it. We'll see. Maybe I'll try it in something else. I don't know. This one looks heavier, but maybe it's not. About the same. There we go. A little bit more, but that's okay. It is definitely denser. Didn't take me much at all to move that. Okay. So I've got that much to work with. That's a lot. I don't think I'm going to need that much. I think I'm going to need about half of that for getting my bath bomb binding. So let's just do a measure. Here's my tear. Let's get to grams. Come on, grams. There we are, grams. So we're just going to measure that. It's 133.5 to begin, and we'll see how much we end up using. Start weight. Now that includes the weight of that jar. This just makes it so I don't have to do all the other math. So we've got a blend. Oh, I'll just do all the other math. But if I'm going to do a second batch of this, let's see, let's give this a little mix. That coconut oil does not melt very good. Let's put this away. I think we've done enough with that one. Alrighty. Wanted to use some of this, but I think I'm going to be fine with that. This is going to be a moisturizing balm. Actually, what to do. That's too much. Okay, I'm totally going to edit all this. You don't get to hear my voice, my brain working. Okay. I want to use about a quarter of this. So we've got a total of 56, 34. No, that's not right. I don't know what I've just done. Oh. Okay. I got my citric, my bicarb, and my SLSA, my cornstarch. What have I done with my oils? I was going for an ounce and an ounce total. Is that what I've got here? Let's see. I'm just going to have to put the weight on. I am working late at night, and so I'm kind of going fuzzy. So let's see if I've got another container here. I do. Get my scale out again and see what I've got here in total so I can make sense of my notes. Yeah, I'm so tired. Very good reason to record. So let's see what we have in total weight. I know that half of this, okay, so it's right. It's right. Okay, so it's 30 grams. Okay, so I had 5.3 grams of coconut oil. And I had 30 grams of polysorbate. And it was 30 grams total with the coconut and the, so you go 30 minus 5.3 minus 5, so it's 25 omegas 3. Okay, I'm back on track. All right, that makes more sense. Okay, I lost a little bit because there's some in that container. That's okay because I'm not going to use it all. Anyway. Wow, this is going to be fun to edit. I'm going to have so many issues. Okay, because I got to write it down for you guys too, right? Okay, where's that bicarb? Now we are going to start with, so I'm going to measure out 20 grams of this blend to start. So where's my little cups? Let's just make sure this is thoroughly mixed. Yeah, it needs a good mix. Actually, I'm gonna get out my little mixer, give it a proper mix, because it needs it. There you are. We're ready to go. Call this omega-3 bath bombs. Plant omega-3. NutriVeg. Okay, so we want here 20 grams. See if I can do this. And we're going to put some back. Because that's a lot. Shoot. It's going to be off by a bit. Now, let's just get that up against here. Let's just wipe that off and see where we're at, because that is not going into my pot. Are we short? No, we're fine. We're fine. We were a little over. No, we're right on now. All right, so I'm going to take all of that and put it in there. Now, if I was going for a more nourishing, really oily bomb, I'd add more. So I've got enough here for three batches. So I will be making 3 batches with that. All right, so now we're going to get our hands in there and get dirty, because this is a biofuel kind of product. Now I'm also going to make notes of the weather. So it is raining outside. It is the middle of winter in December. I'm going to put that where it's not going to get contaminated. I almost don't need a fragrance oil. The flavorings from the plant extracts smell so good. Alright, so I need a fruity scent for this one. Let's see. All these cake scents. Christmas morning. Let's see what that one smells like. Rum cake, that would go good with it. White cake, that would go good with it. Hot fudge would even go good with it. Kind of the, it's like a tropical, it's like peaches and strawberries. This smells like oranges. It smells amazing. All right, so that's not really giving us any binding, which is fine. So we will add, we're going to try to use this. So every time I add some, I'm going to measure exactly how much I added. Now, another thing I want to make sure is that I'm getting everything mixed evenly, because if you have little pockets of oil, that could cause issues too. And you can use a screen to just kind of sift it. And if I feel too many of those little bits, I will do that. Okay. Oh, we are getting snowballing going here. It might be fine. All right, but I know it needs more, and I don't want to use water because the last time I used water on a day like today, it just did not work with me. And it was not as wet as today. Can you hear that storm out there? That's the cars whooshing in the water. Oh boy. So I'm going to make this bath bomb completely white because I'm going to paint it. And there are going to be some beautiful colors. So that we're going to do an art. This is an art bomb. So, but I'm not going to use embeds. But my daughter does like little surprises. So we will be making some round ones in them. If I can find the figurines in time. If not, I'll do them later at a later date. Okay. So I'm thinking I need about an ounce or less of the alcohol to finish getting this where I want it to be. Actually, yeah, it's kind of, but we haven't even added our fragrance yet. So I'm going to add the fragrance next. Let's see what Christmas morning is like. Yeah, that would go, this Christmas morning one would go really well with the fruit. This isn't a heavily spiced one. It's very fruity. So this is really interesting. Okay, so this is from the Candle Maker store. And this is soap, perfume, and potpourri room scent safe. So this will work for the bath bombs. This is kind of a soap. But we're going to use, of course, a lot less because sponification takes up a lot of the fragrance and you just don't need it. So I'm going to mix our scent with a little bit of the alcohol that we've got here. So luckily I have hundreds of these cups. They come in packages you can buy by the 100. It doesn't. And yes, I do reuse mine. But you don't have to. Let's move this away again. There. Got a spot. Okay. I have gotten bath bomb mix on everything. So let's get a new one. Let's get a clean one. Because my fingers are covered in. Okay. I might need another one. going. Let's see. So I am going to add about, per kilo, we're going to add about 5 grams. And we'll see, my daughter thinks that's strong enough. And I'm going to add about 15 grams of the gel. All right. So we have this a little mix. Ooh. That's nice. I lost a little bit, but that's okay. We'll bring this back. That in. And see where we are for scent and for. Now I've even tried using a mixer, like a hand mixer for this, to just get everything just really worked in. But I don't make large quantities, so getting out my KitchenAid just doesn't seem worthwhile. So we had 15 grams of the alcohol and 5 grams of fragrance oil, and it's nice and strong. All right, we're getting nice snowballing. This will either mean I've got too much liquid and it's all gonna like go up on me, or it's gonna be perfection. So because it is so humid today, I am going to preheat the oven so it's nice and dry in there. And these are going on trays, so we'll let them dry in the tray in the oven when it's warm. So I have a few things to move out so that I can do that. A lot. Clowns. Clowns are so cute. Actually, you know what? I'll put them in before I go to bed because I could use protection from this moisture too. Alright, so we're gonna have a low heat, so 170. And then we're gonna turn it off. I've got 14 projects I need to finish today. So let's go to there. We're gonna warm oven ready when we hit our last step. So I need my big scale. Where did I put you? Oh, there you are. And we're gonna measure 500 grams of citric acid right into our pot. A little bit more. So this makes approximately 1,500 grams of bath bomb mix. Oh dear, I've never had the citric acid do that, make me sneeze. All right. Now, if we need more moist, which we're not going to need, I'd be lucky if I didn't use too much. You need to make sure you mix this really, really well because you want lots of fizz in every bath bomb. And you want them all to be hard and tight, rock hard. Now you can use any liquid oil in substitution in this type of recipe. So if you like grapeseed, use grapeseed. If you have an infused natural oil you want to use, do that. In fact, I'm going to be doing a whole series of infused oils because I got a new toy. Yep, I got a new toy for Christmas. All right, so I need to flip this over. Yeah, that's nice. We don't seem to have any. It's a very mild reaction. So maybe I did it right using the alcohol. Now, even in any ethanol-based gel should be fine. Now, it'll be interesting to see what the carbomer does to the formulation because it's a new ingredient, right? You use what you got and hope that it works every time. If this is an odd recipe that works for me, I'll be making it again. And I'll be trying other oils to figure out what the common factor is that made it so awesome. You get all the way to the bottom and bring it up. That's just beautiful. Now I think I've got more here than will fit those 6 bath bombs, but I've got a few more molds too. And I can always, I've been wanting to try Karen's spray mica that she's been using on her bath bombs. That's really cool because she gave the recipe for hers too. So if you haven't checked out Eden Secret, and I'm sure there's nobody who hasn't because it's one of the most popular because she's so awesome. And her products are fantastic. Okay, now that I made a nice big mess, I think, let me grab some from the bottom and see if it's all holding together too. Yep, I think that's just about perfect. So I'm going to grab my mold and we'll see how many of these we can fit. We'll start with 4. Yeah, we got lots. I can do 6. And then I'll have a little bit left over. I can do some pink round bombs, maybe from my daughter who wanted pink round bombs yesterday. Okay. Let's see what happens. If we don't have any rising, I'll know that I did it right. Now this has got a nice smooth pattern. It's not got a lot of sticky things, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to pat it in there nice and tight. I need more. Edges because you don't want your edges breaking off. And then a final in the middle. You're going to want that really flat. I am going to flip these over and I don't want them to crack. oven should just about be done by the time I'm finished. I haven't even started pressing this one, so I'm guessing I'm going to need some of that one. Don't see any puffing, which is good. Now I'm not going to leave these in here very long. Unlike the silicone molds that you can pop them out of, these will actually bond to the metal. So you want to whack them out. So make sure, because they're getting hard on me already. These are amazing. Okay, so I'm going to let these leads for a few. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead. Let me grab a sheet of parchment really quick. All right. Okay, those are gorgeous. And the oven's ready, so I'm going to turn it off and pop them in there, and hopefully I got them flat enough that they're not going to crack on me. Now, the rest of this mess, let's make my daughter some pink bombs, so she'll be happy too. Now I'm going to add a little more gel. Right out. You want to make, I find that I like making just enough for one batch. And one batch for me is like 6 giant bombs, or as many as I can make in about 15 minutes. So I don't want a lot of extra stuff. So I've got blue. I need to find my pink. Lime. Acid red 52. This one is gorgeous. And super, super popular. My daughter really likes this one. This is a pretty one. So let's measure out a teensy bit. Okay. Now I've been trying to take notes on how much of this dye is needed. So I'm going to try, I'm going to weigh this before I add it. Let's do that really quick. Where's my scale? Where did I put my scale? Oh, put it up high. Let's try not to knock anything down. Before I do that, I need to make a note of this one. And I'm not cleaning anything up right now because I gotta move, people. So with the container, it's $4.43. Let me write that down. Where are all my notes? Here they are. $4.43 with white carbon container. How much that is later. I can measure the container after I'm done and subtract it out. So let's turn this back on and get a little dish, a teeny little dish. Oh, I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleaning. Tear it. So people have been like working with teaspoons. I'm gonna go with half a gram. So I'm gonna go with 0.14. We'll go to 0.15 of a gram. And we'll see what that looks like, because that's a lot. 0.15 of a gram. for this amount. 0.15 Road Red. All right, let's put this baby in. Whew. And listen to that. That where I can clean it. Okay. For all that, I'm going slow. Which means all of her bath bomb's going to be used up in this. No, maybe not. Maybe it'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to do some pink trees. Purpley pink. That's beautiful. And some that's beautiful. That's awesome. That's working. That works for me. Now when you use it, because there won't be any little white dots because you'll have done it all right. Now I know because I added a little blump, this is a little bit wet. Oh well. Last year I made my daughter gumdrops. I think I'll probably make her gumdrops again. That just lets her have lots of them. So we're gonna fill as many as we can of these. I think there's 6 right here. And my littlest child, my youngest one, because pink's her favorite right now. And she goes in cycles. Sometimes it's green, sometimes it's orange. She's just discovering what's her favorite, which is so fun. Oh, good. Yeah, I think we've got enough for all of these. And we're not moving, so that's good. Ooh, maybe not. Oh, I wish I had a little more. Let's see. We can get out of here. It's going to be hard to make these flat. So I'm going to leave these in the mold for a little bit longer. Let them get nice and hard to the touch, and then I'm going to whack them. Not a long time, just a short time. I mean, she's not going to care if they break. In fact, we'll probably be breaking them into 3 or 4 pieces. That one's the worst. Come on, let's get your foot fixed. Have any more? So close. Oh. You know what? I'm going to sacrifice this tree to fix a couple of the others. Make them extra full so they're nice and flat. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Now we're going to have a little fairy dust because not everything's going to come out. And that'll be nice for showing you how this works. So hopefully I got that even. It is a fill thing. You can fill where it's higher. Try to fix that before you move on, before you tap them out. Now these are getting nice and hard, so I'm going to tap them out before I can't get them out. Let me grab a nice warm. There's a couple of cracks in the others. Hopefully none of the rest will crack too badly. Whew, hot. It's a hot oven. Okay, I'm just going to do the flip over here. Let gravity help us out. Hopefully, I didn't just kill them. Let's see. Nope, it's all good. Another good reason to have a good sturdy mug. You can whack it, and it's going to be fine. We'll put these babies in the warm oven with the rest, and we'll check them in the morning. So I'm going to clean up this big old mess, and I'll see you in a little bit, and we'll paint those babies up.